Hello and welcome to the 5app webinar. Thank you so much for joining us as we explore how AI is changing the way we deliver corporate learning. My name is Corey. I head up sales here at 5app, and today I am joined by a very special guest, our CEO, Philip.
My first project delivering a learning management system was back in 2008, and I've lost count of the amount of LMSs and learning experience platforms I've delivered since then. And I'm delighted to join more recently in the next chapter of 5app's growth journey, and it's very much an AI-powered enabled journey, and we look forward to sharing some of that with you today.
So what I want to do is I'll just walk you through what we can expect in today's session. So I'm going to first of all talk you through a little bit about who 5app are. Then we're going to introduce you to the different types of AI agents which are available. We then get the exciting grand reveal of 5app's own AI agent, and we'll even give you the opportunity to see it in action as well, which is really exciting. So yeah, excited to reveal that to you all. Then we're going to be talking about the next generation of learning analytics that can come from using these AI agents within your learning platform. And for those of you that stick around to the end of the webinar, we actually have a webinar specific offer for you as well. So more on that at the end of today's session. So let me talk to you about who we are. So 5app is a learning management system which has been designed and developed to deliver learning to users in a completely intuitive and seamless way. Our North Star is making sure both the user and the admin experience is simple but powerful, so learning can be delivered within the flow of work. Now, the flow of work is a little bit of a sort of an L&D specific buzzword, but essentially what it means is that people are able to access the data, the learning, the information they need exactly when they need it. And that focuses, done us very well. It's led us to work with some fantastic organizations, both large and small, spread across the globe. Now, just to sort of reinforce that message, I just wanted to pull out a couple of really sort of useful and interesting statistics that we're very proud of. So I'll start off with the 80% sort of platform engagement. Now, essentially what this means is when an organization brings on 5app, they see 80% of their employee audience joining the platform and engaging with the knowledge, with the content that's on there. Now, that's much higher than industry standards, and again, speaks to our commitment to deliver a great learning experience. Now, the final sort of stat that you've got on the end there about the sort of technical skills improvement speaks to our other sort of core focus, which is ensuring that organizations are able to deliver better business outcomes when they use 5app.
Thank you, Corey. So when I joined, one thing I was certain of, I was very excited about these metrics, that we have very strong engagements, we have strong NPS scores, but I'm very conscious that certainly in this AI-enabled world that we're living in at present, that we cannot rest on our laurels. And so just to give you a look behind the curtain, if you will, every 2 weeks we get together internally and have a product steering meeting. And that is chaired by myself, and it's led by James Cranwell, our head of product that you'll see there in the top right, and Rob McKenzie, head of technology, that you'll see in the bottom right there. And essentially what we do is we get together and we absorb all the information and all the data points that we have. So, for example, those on the front line talking to our customers, such as headed up by Abby, she will listen to our customers, bring in all that feedback, all that information, and surface it to James and the team, and have it as an opportunity for us to debate those positive elements of the platform, and also some of the bits that some of our customers feel that we need to improve, or we need to develop completely new functionality. Also, I have meetings with the sales team. So, for example, Corey will say, on the coalface, Philip, we absolutely need this piece of functionality. It's mission critical. So that's a data point that we will take as well. And also, I'm a firm believer in making data-driven decisions. So we've got analytics on our platform, and we can assess what parts of the platform are being used, what parts of the platform are not being used, maybe sections of the platform that is taking people too long to progress through. All of these get put into the mix, into the steering group to make a decision on what comes next. And what was surfaced, certainly in the early days of my tenure at 5app, were these four regular themes that was coming from all the meetings that I was taking part in. So the first one is there an opportunity to provide more personalized learning? So typically, a learning platform can have tens, it can have hundreds of learning content. It can even have thousands of learning content for your employees to get access to. And by that very nature, they sometimes are generic in their delivery. And because it's not possible to create tailored content specific for every single person in the organization. And so is there a way that we can use technology to make all that learning content more personalized? Because the research shows that if you make it more personalized to each individual, it's more likely to stick. I mean, let's take the example, I'm trying to teach my son maths at the moment, right? And if you're going to use examples of a train left the station at 10 o'clock and it arrived at Newcastle at 12, how fast was it going, right? These are sort of, Dad, I don't get it, right? Whereas if you put the maths in the context of football that he loves, it's going to stick and it's going to resonate more, and they're going to be more engaged with the learning content. And the same applies in a corporate setting as well. The second theme there was, can we grant faster access to the knowledge? Where you have hundreds of learning content, thousands of learning content in your library, especially if you're a new joiner, where do you go first? Okay, well, where's the signpost? I'm a rabbit in headlights. I'm overwhelmed. So can you give people an opportunity to get faster access to that knowledge? Where do they need to go? Can you give it to me in digestible chunks and so forth? The third one there is, can 5app provide even more of an inclusive environment? So the team have been working really hard over the last years to make sure that our learning platform supports all audio and visual requirements, for example. But we should not stop there, especially as our technology gets adopted by a more international workforce, for example. There's no reason why a Japanese native speaker who happens to be working in a UK office can't get access to the learning content in their native language. Why is that a barrier? So is there a way that we can offer that without having to re-engineer and redo all of the learning content in all the various languages that are required? And the last one there, one-to-one coaching, personal coaching is very effective. However, we all know that it can be costly to do, let alone on a one-to-one standpoint. It's not uncommon for coaches to charge £1,000 a sitting, right? If you've got a workforce of 10, 100, 1,000, it's just not going to cut the mustard. It's just not going to be sustainable. So is there a way that we can offer that personalized one-to-one coaching in that cost-efficient, scalable way? And that led us on an AI journey. So could we use artificial intelligence to solve some of these themes, some of these questions, some of these wants, some of these desires? And the first AI type of agent specifically we looked at was a recommendation agent. So could we use AI to effectively surface content that might resonate with that particular user, with that particular learner? So for example, based on their search history or based on content that they've engaged with more frequently, is that going to solve all of the problems that all of the questions and desires and wants that have been outlined on the previous slide? I don't think so. So the second type of AI agent we looked at was a chatbot agent. So could we preload information into the artificial intelligence to support that personal experience? So basically we kind of preload questions, common questions, and therefore we can give that coaching experience But this is almost like a halfway house, right? If somebody asks a question that might sit outside the knowledge of the chatbot feature, it's just not going to cut the mustard. Okay, and it's not as clever as maybe where we ended up by looking at a tutor-based agent that uses large language models and it trains itself on the data that you give it to provide personalized answers, still in that chat type interface, but it's personalized to the particular individual. Okay, and this is where we're really pushing the envelope, and this is what we're excited about to share today. And the interesting thing is that no two chats will be the same, right? And that is the beauty of it. That is the beauty of the personalization that you get from using artificial intelligence and large language models. So I'll now hand over to Corey to take you through sort of the differences in the level of sophistication of some of the examples that I mentioned today.
Thank you, Philip. So yes, we want to talk about how sophisticated our AI agent is, but I'll walk you through the 3 different levels that you have. So level 1 is a rules-based agent, and they operate from preset rules and are able to perform very basic tasks. So if we think about a basic FAQ, that's the type of sort of feature that they're going to be able to deliver. So they'll provide quick responses, but they have very limited flexibility in terms of their answers. We move up to level 2, we get up to machine learning. They learn from data that's fed into them, and then they adapt over time based on that data. So an example of that might be a content recommendation engine, for instance, that will take course usage data and will suggest similar courses to those that users have already sort of been through. Now, the final level, level 3, is a deep learning agent, and that is the agent that we have within our platform. Now, agents like this, they use natural language processing, or NLP, to create nuanced interactions. So what this really means is it will have a much more human-like interaction with any user that speaks to it. So with our platform, it uses NLP to understand the context within a query, and then it can provide really detailed, personalized feedback based on that input. What it'll also take into consideration as well is previous interactions that the user has had, as well as performance data that it has on the platform as well.
Thank you, Corey. And before we embarked on this journey of installing and configuring and setting up an artificial intelligence capability inside our platform, I very much wanted to make sure that we did our benchmarking, we did our assessment of the wider market. So it's one thing that you absolutely listen to your customer base. You absolutely don't ignore Corey in sales to telling on the coalface that this particular feature or functionality or theme is requested by a customer base. But we just wanted to sense check and make sure that actually, if we invest in this technology, that there is a wider need for it beyond our current realms of influence. And the data suggested there was. Okay, so 1 in 2, 42% of owners are expecting AI agents to streamline their job processes. Okay, and of organizations, 82% are already planning to use AI agents in their business in the next 3 years. Okay, however, it's still in its infancy because only 10% of organizations are using AI agents inside their organization. So we are perfectly poised to offer this capability where there is a demand for it, of that final sort of 72% of the 82 that we've got left there that is looking to adopt it in the next 3 years. And the data point that really stood out to me and was really encouraging is that there's almost like a clean sweep. So 96%, which is pretty much every single HR leader has said that they feel that AI agents can offer that personalized learning and development experience. So we're starting to get into that no-brainer territory. Now, this is forward-looking, okay, and of the 10% that have already adopted it, the great thing is that we're already seeing really positive business outcomes. So, for example, 44% of employers are witnessing increased productivity as a result of the adoption of AI agents. So, it stands to reason. So, in a learning environment, okay, if you are offering if you're using it to provide more tailored responses to the individual, that content is going to stick. It's going to resonate with the learner itself, and they're going to be more motivated. They're going to know more about the job that they're doing, and they're going to perform better. Okay, so therefore, by its very nature, it's really, really positive that we're seeing better business outcomes already, even in the early adopters phase of AI agent technology. So now is the time to share with the world and launch our AI-powered learning coach. Just what you've been waiting for. We have called it VEE, and that is a nod to the Roman numeral V5, We Are 5app. And what this has enabled us to do is we wanted to give it a personality. It is going to be, it is a learning coach. So it's going to mimic that human-like interaction. However, we did want it to still wanted to have a nod that there is an artificial element in it, and we feel that the name enables us to sort of cross those two boundaries there. So let's go into the platform and show you what it looks like. So this is 5app, pre AI. Okay, so this is if you're using us as the traditional LMS type approach. So if you're turning up, you've got access to a whole host of content, really powerful content, and some people really like this structured way. It depends on your personality type. Okay. And here, I'm interested in the psychology of leadership, for example. So I'm going to click on that. I can see that in 5app language, there's a whole playlist of content that I can really get myself stuck into. I can really follow, and I can tick off the steps and tick off that I've completed, and I've each phase of the learning journey. So the first one here, I've got a psychology of leadership infographic, which is actually created by one of our partners, and I can delve into that if I want and if I choose. If I feel that videos are a bit better for me, in this instance, I've got a psychology of leadership animation that I can get stuck into, and so forth. So there's a whole host of information there available to me. However, we want to offer an additional experience. We want to elevate the experience. As we mentioned earlier in today's webinar, we want to elevate the learning experience, support better discovery, provide one-to-one coaching, and enable better business outcomes that are specific to me and the individual. So I'm going to take you through and I'm going to just open up our AI agent capability, and I am now going to ask it a question from the scenario that I am a new joiner to the business, and I'm looking for enhanced content discovery. So I'm a new team leader. Any tips? Okay, and so what this is doing is this is now going away and curating answers only based on the information that it has, that we have given V in this instance. It's not going out to the wider internet. Okay, and that is really important, especially when you're dealing in a highly compliant, highly regulated industry. You can be sure that it's only using the content that you want it to surface to your end learners, to your end employees. Okay, you can configure the agent in certain themes and certain question types to go outside its current knowledge bank. For the purposes of today, we're only looking at its current knowledge bank. So what's it told me? What tips can I learn? So it's basically told me that I need to set clear goals, right? So I need to always have that North Star to support enhanced decision making down the road, so I don't have to micromanage. People can be self-starters if they know where the direction that they're going, and you can be sure that hopefully your goals will be achieved if you tell people, guide people with what your objectives are. We need to listen, right? Okay, you're a new joiner, you don't know everything. You should listen first and speak second, and so forth. Okay, so it's gone away and given me some good tips there. Where's it got the information from? Well, I want to drill down in a bit more detail. Okay, so let's have a look. It's told me, it's given me a video here that I might want to look at, and it's also summarized that content, okay, for me. So it's enabled me to have faster content discovery. Okay, and it's enabling me to get to the answer quicker, and it's personalized it to me. Okay, so let's the second thing that we need to do is we want to provide coaching capability. We want to enhance that experience. We want to provide an even more personalized learning journey. So in this instance, I'm going to use an example that Corey's giving me a really hard time. He's creating lots of conflict inside the organization. So, but I don't know how to solve this. What do I do? So I have conflict in my team. Any advice? Okay. And again, what this is doing is this is going away using only the data that it has available to it, and it will recommend to me a series of answers around solving conflict in the organization. So what it told me is that it told me that actually sometimes conflict is healthy. It's told me that I need to openly communicate and listen. Okay, and we need to respect both parties. So all very good and all very sound advice. And there may be bits that I want to drill into, and I can keep asking questions and go down the rabbit hole to get it really tailored to my personal response. And also I mentioned about inclusivity. If I want to change this to French, German, Japanese, whatever it might be, I can do this all within this capability. So it's a really elevated experience from a learning point of view. So let's go back to the webinar here. Okay, we're on the start of our journey. Okay, we're very much on the start of our journey, and I think, you know, as a sector as a whole, the whole sector is on the start of its journey. Especially when you look at only 10% of businesses have adopted AI. I'd be so bold as to say that some of the metrics which certainly learning technology providers have used historically to determine success may no longer be as valid as they have been previously. So, for example, and I'll come to that as to why in a moment. So, for example, commonly engagement is used as a metric of success. So, the justification of this might be that, hang on, right, you have really strong number of people logging onto the platform each and every day, each and every week, each and every month. People wouldn't keep coming back if they weren't getting value. Okay, and that in itself is a barometer of success. However, I would argue that in this AI-enabled world, actually, there might be an instance where people are actually logging on less because they are getting faster access to knowledge, they're getting to the answer quicker, and so therefore they're maybe not needing to spend as long finding the content that they need. And therefore, these engagement metrics might suddenly be a bit of a red herring with this new AI-enabled world. And therefore, what we are going to look at, and certainly our assumptions at the moment, is that our metrics will be centered more around sort of the types of themes that people are asking. So we have the capability to assess lots of things by using this capability. Okay, and so themes are really powerful. If you are an HR leader, you're no longer to be in a space whereby you're looking at generic how they've looked at leadership content. You get to really be specific that, oh, hang on a minute, we've got conflict in sales. Maybe we need to create content and support the sales team more as a wider initiative in the business. You get to drill down really specifically and get sort of a tailored learning path. Whereas before, because you were offering more generic content, you just didn't have that level of engagement, that level of interaction from the learner, that they're asking specific questions. And metrics around this are going to start to become really powerful for HR leaders, and we're looking forward to sharing that journey as we learn with you, and that in itself is probably a future webinar in the making there. I'll now hand over to Corey to take you through some of the key takeaways from today.
Thank you very much, Philip. Yeah, really exciting times ahead. So what can we take away from today's webinar? First and foremost, not all AI agents are equal. So I walked you through a couple of different levels of sophistication for AI agents. And essentially, the more complex, the higher up the levels we go, the more human-like the interaction is, and the more personalized the experience is going to be from the user perspective. We also learned that they provide immediate scenario-based feedback 24/7. So this gives your learners the opportunity to really get quite granular with their specific requirements and their specific learning needs with an AI coach. If you wanted to do this, with a dedicated sort of human coach, as Philip mentioned earlier in the webinar, that could be costing up to £1,000 a day for a session. So it's much more sort of sustainable and cost effective to use an AI coach for this. Finally, the final key takeaway is what we've just been talking about, which is the opportunity for greater real-time learner insights. And I think this is a truly, truly sort of groundbreaking space. I've been sort of talking to L&D professionals for well over a decade now, and I know that all of you are going to be very interested in the different types of insights we can get from the platform, so we can really start understanding our learners and tailoring content to best sort of suit their needs. So we've made it towards the end of the webinar now, and as promised, we have a webinar offer for you. So we are essentially giving access to the V platform to both new and existing customers if you sign up to our Core Plus package between now and the 28th of February, and that's part of our early access program essentially. So please sign up now. You'll have early access to V up until the 31st of March. So really exciting time to join us and really get an opportunity to, I guess, experience the power of the AI agent, and get that sort of completely free of charge. If that sounds interesting to you, and I hope it does, please do reach out to me. My details are on the screen there, but it's Corey@5app.com, and I'd be very happy to continue the conversation with you there.
And we're not stopping now. We're not stopping here, right? We are, as I mentioned, we are on an AI-enabled journey, and with lots of exciting things coming up in 2025 and beyond. Early 2025, we are looking to launch another AI capability, and that sits within the AI content authoring space. So really what this will do is this is simplifying the process of creating engaging learning content, right? We can't all be creatives. Okay, we can't all be artists, and I'm sure if we look honestly in our organizations, we have created some interesting PowerPoints and interesting PDFs in an attempt to share knowledge with our colleagues. But what this will do is this will elevate, this give an opportunity to level the playing field, that without technical expertise, you can create really professional learning materials to support better learning outcomes inside your organization. And for example, I really wish that I had this capability as I launched an objectives and key results initiative earlier in the year, and it would have made my process a lot more slicker and keener. So but I will have it for the next initiative that I do. So exciting times ahead. Watch this space.
Thank you so much, Philip. And thank you all for joining us for this webinar today. Hopefully that's been a useful session. There are more webinars to come. As Philip mentioned, I'm very much looking forward to sharing all of the learning analytics we get from V in the next one. But thank you all so much for your time and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.